What wonderful music we have playing today. Maybe I'll leave it on. It's kind of nice. Hello, everybody. I'm Rick Holtrop, sometime designer, sometime programmer, currently doing some associate producer type stuff, lots of schedule, jockey, making sure we've got our pledges up to date on all the sites from our great update yesterday. I brought a little something from home today to leave in the camera, but I have to find a spot. Brought my laptop with me. I'm hanging out in the chat room on shroudoftheavatar.com. So stop by there and we'll chat. Just had some time to kill. Thought I'd come hang out here. Oh, UO2. That was a long time ago. All right, time to find a special place for my book where everybody can see it. Here, one of my all-time favorite books called Time of the Twins by Margaret Weiss and a gentleman named Tracy Hickman. Is that looking? Yeah, I'll be sitting in front of it, but I don't mind. So how's everybody doing today? How much longer we got left on our Kickstarter? Let's take a look. Oh, hello, Mr. Spears.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris wants me to show off my tattoo. How old was I when I got this tattoo?
14.
No, 15, 16, something like that. They wouldn't let me in at 14. I don't know if everybody could see. That's my homage to my childhood Ultima playing days. Boy, did that come in handy when I started working at Origin Systems in 1996. I had something to talk to Richard about immediately. Oh, yeah. Notice I have nothing, I've never put anything in there. Not my wife's name, not my mom's name, not my child's name. Maybe I'll get a little SOTA tattoo in there. Only if Chris goes with me and gets one too. No, not for you. We'll have to come up with a...
My body's perfect the way it is.
Thanks for the music. I imagine this is from Mr. Spears.
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
Thank you, my friend. Oh, Shroud of the Avatar. 4 days to go. We only have 4 days.
And change.
4 days and change. Well, now would it be a great time to call all of our friends, all of our family, let them know. Coming to a close, Mr. Oh my gosh. Hello, gentlemen.
How's it going?
Pretty good, man. Just hanging out with everybody here. Check it in on our Kickstarter page. Looks like we have 4 days to go.
Oh, there's a delay.
Yeah, there's about a 10-second delay. Got to kind of ignore it. It's not quite like a mirror. Mr. Spears is here to update.
Sean, come say hi.
Everybody come on over and introduce yourself to everybody.
No worries. Everybody, this is Sean Melchior. He is the amazing artist who created those recent fighter characters that you saw.
That's a good point.
Watching the video delay is a bit distracting.
It is. You think it's a mirror, but it's not.
Right, it's freaking me out.
Well, I'm having a good time staring at the chat room anyway, so.
What am I, like 8 seconds?
$2 million stretch goal tattoos
the
for
live
everyone. That's better, thank you. All right.
Thank goodness.
It's not reversed. Everybody see my so much offended. No, there's no.
She's back.
This doesn't feel right at all. How am I supposed to program like this? do you do art this way?
No.
It feels very stiff.
I do art like this. Let's have a bad back.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sure to talk to everybody about that tattoo stretch goal. I think that's right. There's the camera. All right. Now I have too many mirrors on me. What are you doing? So what are you guys doing today? Get ready for lunch?
Yeah, we're actually probably another 15 minutes.
No, I'm gonna hang out here for lunch. Go grab a little something to eat, bring it back. We got stuff to do. You know me, I'm a little older. I've got my people right here. We're gonna talk about the Kickstarter.
Excellent. Everyone, nice seeing you. I'm gonna see you later today.
Yes, you will. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Come back anytime.
Have fun. 4 days.
4 days to go. 4 and change. Let's see what's going on in the chat room. Oh yeah. We'll call him number 1. Number 1. Yes, the office lunch run. Our local time here is 11:30, so we just kind of start the lunch hour around here. There's definitely a group of people like to get out of the office and see the outdoors for about an hour. I generally like to sit at my desk. I go grab some food, come back, check out the forums, check out the chat. Sometimes I play little video games at my desk. Subway, that's almost exactly the kind of thing that I'll be heading out to grab. What can we talk about today? I woke up this morning and I've been incredibly excited to be working with Tracy Hickman. We were on the Google Hangout chat with him yesterday. It was great to hear him talk about his process for getting the story stuff going with Richard. And up until now, I've certainly been thinking about the books I grew up reading of his. But this morning, it hit me. And so I stopped by my bookshelf and looked over a couple of my old books. I had my Dragonlance Volume 1, Number 1, first edition. I'm going to have to hang on to that type. Maybe when I see Tracy next, I'll see if I can get the gentleman to sign it for me. But that's where it all started. But what really did it for me was the second trilogy of Tracy and Margaret's books, the Time of the Twins, Test of the Twins. So brought that in a little something that we can have in the background to remind us of Tracy. Oh, I eat so much Jimmy John's. I can't have any more Jimmy John's. I don't eat enough Subway. A month from now, it'll be the opposite. It'll be too much Subway. Drone Zone, Soma FM. My favorite Soma FM is probably, oh man, what's the name of the channel? Secret Agent. I like Secret Agent a lot, but that's not the one I'm trying to think of. Groove Salad. That's it. Groove Salad is my number 1. Drone Zone's maybe my number 3. That's good nighttime. Yes, I love my tattoo. I probably should have a few more tattoos for all the time I spent with Richard. I've managed to. There was a group of us that have tattoos from some of the other projects we worked on too. Somehow I missed that. But I like to think I saved myself for Shroud of the Avatar. And it's a real tiny little spot I've got ready on my arm there. I think an SOTA will fit perfectly. Oh, the forums. Unlike Fire Lotus, I am not a master at managing all these things. I thought maybe I'd come in and have the forums open on one page and a chat on the other, and the Google Hangout. I can't. I'm not as good as Fire Lotus is. So I decided to hang out in the chat today. Maybe when I come back later today, I'll hop around. Maybe I'll hang out in the forums a little bit more next time. I heard we have another Google Hangout happening today. Hopefully, I'll be able to make that. But we've got plenty of monitors here. Sometimes I have my iPad here, my laptop here, my 2 desktops here. If there's spreadsheets, I can manage all that information. Chats and community stuff, that is definitely Fire Lotus's expertise area. Oh, there's a book for me to click on. What book are we talking about? Ooh. We have Ultima, the Ultimate Collector's Guide, sitting in one of our offices. I had not been aware of this book until I saw it sitting around the office. I imagine Dallas or Richard or somebody brought it in. It is an incredible book. There was just a crazy amount of information, if this is the book that I'm thinking it is. Yep, that's the book I'm thinking of. It's crazy. Next time I take a walk out and take a walk in, maybe I'll bring it in. I'll come flip through and we can all go over some old Ultima trivia. Thank you, Lord Viator. I saw that, maybe I'll get something typed up with that link and we'll make sure that we post that occasionally, just like you just did. That was a big help. We'll remember to post that every couple minutes while we're in here so everybody knows where to find us on the video. It's pretty exciting times for us. This is pretty cool, all the video chat stuff that we've been doing, talking about some of the old projects that we've been on, UO and UO2 and other stuff, that the timing being what it was in that age. At best, we would hang out on some forums. I don't even think we did much live chat now, but what a weird, cool thing to have Google Hangout videos for an hour a day, just have this camera running in the other room whenever somebody's bored. We'd take a walk in here. I had some time to kill, so I jumped on the chat channel back at my desk and realized if I'm going to sit here on the chat, I may as well go sit in front of the video camera. Ultima Trivia. Somebody threw out some good Ultimate trivia. You'll stump me. My brain's too old these days. But I'm sure together we can all come up with the answers. It's pretty cool being accessible. You know, it was a lot tougher to do when we were parts of large companies like Electronic Arts or NCSoft. Loved working for those, but when you work for big companies, you got really big structures and community relations departments that have rules and regulations for these types of things and watch what you say. So it took us a while to realize that you know we're much more independent than that now. We can do what we want. And we've slowly come to embrace that, as you can see through all the different cool things we're trying to do. The people that Richard keeps around him are generally all friendly people. I've been working with Richard since '96. I can't say that I've met more than 1 or 2 unfriendly people over the hundreds and hundreds of people that we've worked with over all these years. So what did I do this morning? This morning I came in, you know, last night we had a great update where we added some stuff to all of our different pledge tiers. We got that up on our Kickstarter update site. This morning I came in and made sure on the Shroud of the Avatar site that the sidebar that lists all that stuff, I went in and got all that up to date. It's a fun little thing to look over if you haven't checked in on it in a while, just to, even if you saw the update yesterday, to kind of see it all living in that one spot off to the right side. It's really exciting to see what has become of our tiers. I mean, we had our plans before, but we've listened to you guys, and some things have changed along the way. It's really cool to see what it is today. Where did Richard get his robot from? I'm not sure exactly the name of the company. It may come to my mind here, but the reason he got the robot is when he got married last year or the year before, maybe 2 years ago. His mom lives here in the States, and Richard was not married in the States, was married somewhere over in Europe. I want to say France, maybe. I'm not entirely sure, but since his mom was not able to be there, he wanted her to have telepresence there, and found the robot. And so that was the genesis of the robot, was a way for Richard's mom to be there at an international wedding. And I've seen some video and pictures and stories of what it was like to have his mom there amongst, you know, big beautiful wedding with hundreds of people, to have the robot rolling around with a picture of his mom on there. It was pretty cool. And then, of course, after the wedding, we needed to find another use for the robot, and I think Richard does not quite the coast-to-coast thing, but he spends his time in New York and in Austin, and so it's been really useful to have the robot. The robot actually lives in the office that I'm working in, and we were just talking about it yesterday. You know, sometimes we forget that the robot is not Richard. He's over in the corner talking to us just like he would be any other time. It's been really handy to have, you know, sometimes, a lot of times, you need to get immediate feedback from Richard on something. And boy, is it, you know, even Skype is very location-based. There's a desk with his face on it. The robot will roll over to Steven's room to take a look at concept art and give a quick sign-off or details about what he wants. And then roll back into the design room, and we'll do design discussions, and he'll find that we're in the middle of drawing on the whiteboard, and a meeting is broken out, and Richard's able to participate immediately. So the robot's been a pretty cool thing. Anybots is the name of the company. Who's this Chris guy? France near Paris. Chris. Hi, Chris. Good to see you. Games I like to play. It's been a weird time for me. I've got a 3-year-old boy at home, and about a year and a half ago, I picked up an iPad. I've had an iPhone for a while and always enjoyed iOS apps, but even while I had the phone, I did a lot of PC gaming. Bought the iPad about a year and a half ago, and it seems like, you know, Xbox and PC are my main gaming rigs. I almost didn't touch them for a year and a half while I really explored the number of different games that are out there on the iOS. But recently, you know, I think probably just taking a break. I had taken too long of a break from PC gaming, so I fired up Steam one day and saw my list of many games sitting in there. So I'm fully back into PC gaming. Our Xbox is on all the time, but we use that for Netflix mostly. I think I'm catching up on a lot of things. Sleeping Dogs, almost made it all the way to the end of Sleeping Dogs over the last couple months. I've gone back to Skyrim that I'd put maybe 20 to 40 hours in. I think closing in on 100 hours now. Skyrim's been a lot of fun. Red Dead Redemption has been on my mind a lot lately, just for weird reasons. Sometimes we talk about RPG mechanics and stuff, and my mind keeps going back to Red Dead Redemption, which certainly isn't an RPG in the classical sense, much more of a Grand Theft Auto clone, but the feel of the world that they created has had me thinking about some of the things from Red Dead Redemption lately. And that's a game that not many games have I played to 100%. That game I played to 100%. I'm afraid I haven't been paying attention to the chat. If I scroll up, it's going to reset it, right? Nope, reset. Yeah, that, you know, it's funny sitting here listening to this music. Some of the things they did with music in Red Dead Redemption really created a really cohesive feeling world, and so certainly like to look across the spectrum of games and examine some of those things. Sleeping Dogs for the PC. You know, I'm pretty sure that our game is not going to be anything like Sleeping Dogs, but boy, they did a really good job in that single-player environment of making that world feel alive, from the back alleys and Chinese New Year's, I think, was going on, and just the colors and the life and the NPCs, and they added so much life to that game. That's something that I'm really glad I played through. That game was gifted to me by my friend Paul Sage. I've also known Paul Sage since 1996. We started in Origin and on Ultima Online together, testing games and doing QA, and I had missed that game, and he gifted it to me on Steam, and I was like, okay, sure, I'll give it a try. I think that thing probably sucked up 40 to 60 hours of my time. You know, just a couple I've thrown out there. You know, I've thrown out the ones that don't quite match what we're doing. Skyrim is something that falls very much into that fantasy RPG model, and Skyrim's been a lot of fun to examine the things that they've done in the world, and to really think about, you know, some of the things that have evolved from the things that Richard did when I was a kid. I see glass bows and glass swords, and I think back to, like, man, you know, I remember Richard's glass swords, and that whole glass concept, glass being the ultimate badass weaponry that's still around. It's cool to see. Played a lot of Assassin's Creed. I don't think I've played the last one. As the last one out was Assassin's Creed 3. Did they finally make it off the 2s? But I played the original Assassin's Creed 2, maybe 2.5. They really tried to expand the depth of that world with a lot of other gaminess. I think there was, you know, you kind of had your Thieves Guild on the side that would collect money and stuff. That was a lot of fun, but that core gameplay mechanic of stealthily moving around, I liked the, oh come on, Batman Arkham Asylum. I have not played Arkham City, sadly. I'll get to that soon, but Arkham Asylum was another one of my favorite stealthy games that had that stealthy Assassin's Creed feel to it. Research games, you know, that's we just in general, you know, I can't say that anybody has said any particular game and pointed it out and said, hey guys, go play this game. I think we're really all well versed in our the types of games we play. There's nobody really plays one subset genre of stuff, and so everybody has a wide knowledge of different games, and anytime a design meeting breaks out, everybody has their perspective from those games. So maybe we're lucky that we just haven't had to tell people, hey, you need to go play this game. We've all put our time in on Skyrim. You know, there's a lot of guys that like League of Legends and PvP play. I think I've said it in some other times. Personally, I'm not a PvP guy. I'm not even really too much of a combat guy. I'm the Care Bear of the group. I like housing and questing and crafting, and as long as I'm able to find a chair to sit in the game, I will be a happy Care Bear. You know, I'd love to think of offshoot games of Shroud. We certainly have our first 5 set off to that we've planned on making. But if we have a long and illustrious career with this particular title, I'd certainly like to see that. Of course, Richard works here, but Dallas Snell also works here, and he was producer on the Worlds of Ultima games, the Martian Dreams and what was the other one? Martian Dreams and Savage Empire. And I always thought that was really cool to take that. I think it was the Ultima 6 engine that they had, and I think Warren Spector was a big part of those stories as well, where they took that engine and they made these offshoot stories, and I think they were able to get them technically done pretty quickly, and concentrate on the stories. I'd love to see us be able to get to a point where we can do that over the next couple of years. You know, I spent a lot of time not liking the Care Bear label either. I think yeah, people have been throwing at me since '97 or '98. I think maybe I've just gotten used to it after all these years, and as I've gotten older and have kids at home, and I've brought some of the gentler language into closer to my chest. Now, Care Bear, that's me. As soon as I say it, people know what I'm talking about, and so maybe that's why I've come to enjoy the word. Not a thing wrong with Care Bears. Not a thing. You know, and you know, the PvPers, you guys got to have somebody to pick on. You got to have somebody at the bottom of the food chain to have somebody at the top of the food chain. I'm happy to play that virtual part. Yeah, and that's really it, right? You know, it's just a matter of, you know, I do combat, but that's not my main focus. I prefer crafting and house decoration, and especially from a game design perspective, I'd much rather dig into spreadsheets and systems and design docs about housing and crafting. And combat to me is a pretty simple system, and so we're lucky that we've got the group that we have here. There's guys that really love combat and really know it really well and understand how to balance it properly. And so I'm lucky that I don't have to spend my time thinking about that. Guys like Chris and VCOT and those guys understand that to a level that I will never understand. Anything to reveal about NPC behaviors? I don't know if there's anything to reveal, but you know, our plans. Hopefully, we've talked a little bit about them. We have more plans than, you know, just a simple sheen on the surface. That's certainly not our plans. They're going to be very, very deep, which is you know, was a sign of Richard Garriott Games. I was on the QA team for Ultima 9. I remember that evolution of Richard's games kind of culminated in Ultima 9 with you know, the day-night cycle, the woman that was sweeping her porch because it was daytime, she'd go to sleep during the nighttime. Those are things that have always been staples of Richard Garriott Games, and I fully expect it to be more than a staple of this game, at least from my Care Bear perspective. Back to Skyrim, you know, I remember playing in Skyrim. They did a really good job, and that was another one of those things to try and examine what are the roots of what they're doing here. Oh my God, you know, these were things that Richard's been doing for a very long time, and to see them evolved again, Skyrim did a really great job with that stuff. And if we were able to hit some of those high watermarks, the things that Skyrim did, I think that we would be. I personally would be happy. I think Richard would be happy. But I think we also plan on evolving it again, you know, short-term plans. I don't know what type of evolution we'll see in the short term, but if we have a long and successful title with Shroud of the Avatar here, I think, you know, as we release our new versions of the game year after year, I would fully expect to see the NPC behavior system fully extended more and more. It's great to get kind of that baseline that we expect there and get that tuned and working properly, and then it's easy to sprinkle stuff on top and keep growing that system. So I certainly hope that we get to do that over the next 5-6 years. Cross-pollinating of seeds and plants. My mind is going to some other game. What have I seen that in recently? I haven't played Lord of the Rings online you know, I log in occasionally, but I haven't really played it in maybe a year or two ago. I did a little bit of that. I loved that farming system. I think that it was deep and yet simple as far as some of the timings that were involved. You know, you'd spend 5 or 10 seconds planting, and then 5 or 10 seconds picking it up, and you had to go over and refine it. And so it wasn't a really flat system where you do one thing and you're done, but it wasn't too complex where, you know, I had 15 different actions over half the day to get my farming done. We'll see where we wind up with that. I think that the cross-pollination of stuff, just the skill system alone that we've talked about, and the design that's going to be necessary there, just within the skill system alone, there's some cross-pollination, and so to see that mirrored with some of the components and other things, I think that's a very good possibility. Oh, economy balancing, that's yet another thing that we've got some guys that are really good at that stuff, and something that I would never consider myself to be an expert with. I've heard some conversations that, you know, I've got a lot of good tomatoes to throw from the back room and questions, but we've got guys here that are really well versed in answering those, and I would not speak for them. There's a lot of different ways to go with that, and they're still definitely figuring out the tools that are necessary to balance the economy. I think those are some of the first decisions to be made. Is not so much what is the economy going to be, but what are the tools that we're willing to allow ourselves to manage the economy, and then that defines the rest of it. And again, those guys know that really well. The chat, I'm just listening to the chat right now. As I said when I sat down, I think I've been talking for a while now. Maybe as we become well-versed at doing this over the next couple of days, need to remember to occasionally post in here the link for our live stream. Also remind people that I'm either in the chat or the forums. I kind of like hanging out in the chat, so I think me personally, I'll be in here most of the time. Also, you know, got to keep thinking about 4 days left on the Kickstarter. I've been personally posting on my Facebook feed and letting everybody know. Anybody that's joined a while ago that maybe, you know, have friends and family that helped back us, but maybe haven't checked in the last couple of weeks, letting them know, check back in, see what we've done to the tiers, if there's anything new and exciting in there that people might want to upgrade their pledges for. One of my best friends that I grew up with in Chicago, he went in pretty light pretty early on, but as he understood the housing scheme, I think he moved himself up to make sure he will have an early house in the game. So that's been really cool to have friends and family be so supportive of us, not just in time, but also in pledges, and certainly just the community. You know, what's the number of backers we have is it's amazing. I think we're closing in at 18,000 people that are helping us get this game made. That's a really cool, different feeling to have after all these years. So I like hanging out here. I think I'm going to take a little break from talking for a while. I'm going to go find some food at Subway, maybe not Jimmy John's today, maybe a little Subway. There'll be some other people come sitting in here. I'll probably stand in the back and throw some tomatoes a little later too. I've got some scheduling and some spreadsheets to work on. Then good to see everybody. And even though you may not see me in front of the camera, keep an eye out for my brand new red name in the chat. I'll be back on the chat on and off all day. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. 4 days to go. Call your friends and family. Let's get us to, what's our biggest stretch goal? 2.5 million, 3 million. Let's get us to 3 million. I'm going to make some phone calls myself. Good hanging out with you guys. I'll see you again soon. Make sure my favorite Tracy Hickman book is well displayed here. Let's see. Oh, yeah.